In this topic, we will be analyzing the data and measures of central tendency to be used, and what are the effects when some measures are not catered for. So question number 1, we are having the data that is being put there, and fortunate enough, this data is arranged in ascending order, which means from the lowest numbers all the way to the biggest numbers. Hence, you can see that the lowest number, which is the minimum value, is 45. Then the maximum value, which is 89. Now, since one part of our work is done for us, then we can continue answer the following question, minding the fact that you must always check whether your data is arranged or not. If it's not, then therefore you have to arrange it. 1.2.1 says, write down the median mark for this class, right? So the median mark for this class, it's gonna be the middle number of the data given, right? So that means you will have to calculate the position of the median. We'll start it by that way, that we are to calculate the position of the mean, of the median. So what is the formula for it? It's position of the median, and median is also called Q2. Now, which means we are having 1/2, which is half of the data given, into n plus 1. So this is the formula to find out the position, not the median that is being required, but the position of it. Equal position number bani median in our data. Now, when we analyze our formula, this n means the number of data given. So if you count the data that you have, you'll find that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 23 of them. So this n is equal to 23. So we substitute in our formula, which means 23 plus 1 is equal to, you press your calculator, then you will find the position number 12. So this is not the median, but the position of the median, which means the middle number when the data is being arranged. Now, let's count from the smallest one to the middle one now, which means the middle number we count up until we reach 12th position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So which means now the median is now gonna be that number 64, which means we have 64 as median. Now, if we can just write it here so that you don't miss it out. Then, moving forward to the next question. The next question says, calculate the interquartile range of the data. We calculate the interquartile range of the data. How do we go about doing that? Interquartile range, which is interquartile range, is calculated by subtracting Q1 from Q3. So when you have Q3 and Q1, and these are the quartiles that we have, the quarters or the positions that divides our data into quarters. Now, Q3 will better find the position of Q3, and the position of Q3 is given by 0.75, which is 75% of our data, which can also be written as 4 over or 3 over 4, right? Good. Now, this is gonna be n plus 1. This is the position. Then therefore we know that we have 0.75. Then in the place of n we put 23, then say plus 1. Then the answer for position of Q3 is gonna be 18. When you press your calculator, you get 18. So let's go now to our data and check what is the number that stands in position number 18. So we start from the smallest: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So which means this 74 acts as a what? As the Q3. Q3. So Q3 is now equal to 74. Okay. Now, what are we having? We are going to look for Q1. Then Q1 position is calculated by finding the position first. So the position of Q1 is equal to, we have 1/4, which is the first quarter is 25%. So we have n plus 1, then is equal to, then we have 1/4, then our n is 23, then plus 1, then therefore the position of the first quarter is what? Is 6. So we go to our what? Our data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 53 as what? As Q1. As Q1. So which is 53. So now if you are to find the interquartile range, it's gonna be what? Q3 is 74. Then we have Q1, which is what? Which is 53. So when you press your calculator, you will then get 21 as your interquartile range. So basically, this is how it calculated. Otherwise, some they can use manual, that if this is the median, then therefore they can find the median of the first quarter and the median of the last quarter to find the Q1, Q2, and Q3. So that's basically that. So moving forward to other questions, that now we know that our Q1 is equal to 53, then our Q3, yeah, let's just wrap this one so that we get a space to calculate other things. Now, the next question says, represent the data on the box and whisker diagram. So representing the data in the box and whisker diagram, we probably have a number line set, which we can have a scale, but the scale is not necessary, but it's wise to at least try to be close to accuracy. Now, if we are having 45 as our first or minimum value, we can start with 45, probably 40, then 45, then 50, then 55, then 60, then 65, then 70, then 75, 80, then 85, then 85, then 90. So we have this one now. So the box and whisker diagram is going to show the data on its own. Now the minimum is right here at 45, then the maximum is somewhere there on 89. Okay, then the lower, this is the minimum, this is the maximum. Then to find what? To find, okay, the lower quartile there is given by 53, and 53 is somewhere around here. You can say it's somewhere around here. No, let's have it over here. Then Q3 is 74, and 74 can be estimated to be somewhere here. then the 4. This is our box. This is our whisker diagrams. Right? So which is Q1, this is Q3. So we'll be interested in finding now Q2. Q2 we have calculated Q2, which is the median. It was 64, remember? So Q2 is 64. And when you check 64, 60, 64, 64 can be estimated to be somewhere here. So this is Q2. Now, what we can do, this is how it is. Let's just wait and check another question. Comment on the distribution of the data with reference to the box and whisker diagram. So in grade 10s, we just look at the space where it is bigger on either side of our Q2. So you can see that when you subtract, when you check the distance from this side and that side, this side it's what? It's 10. This side it's 11. So which means this median is close to Q3 than Q1. So which means if that is the case, there is a huge space this side than this side, because we get 11 here, then here we get 10. So which means there is a huge space. That means learners, if this was the test, learners have failed the test, because they range, the many learners, they fall below the median. Otherwise, the less learners, they fall above the median. Good. Now, what are we then having? We are to comment about the box and whisker diagram that we have drawn. That this graph now, this box, and it's skewed to the right, to the left, because the left space is bigger than the right space, so it is skewed to the left. So we are done for this one. See you right in the next question. Welcome to question number 2. This is the grouped data, because there are no specification about the values that are given here. The only thing that we know is that between this interval, we have 4 people, or we have 4 things that fall under this interval. We never know whether in this interval the first person is 91, the second person is 97, the third person is 91, the fourth person is even 90. But the idea is that we know that between this interval, there are 4 people who were found. And in this interval, there were 8 people who were found, which means many people were found in this interval. This is probably going to be our model class. Then this one is 7 people are found in ranging this, right? So this is how this can be analyzed, because now you can see that someone can make a mistake when they are calculating the mean, like for example adding all these things, but like 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2 divided by. Someone can make a mistake to say the number of things that were being researched or analyzed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't no. The answer is gonna be the total number of things that were surveyed there, which means it's gonna be 4 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2. This is gonna give us 30 number of data that we have. Okay, so which means now this is how we find the value of n, especially when we have to use our position formula. Now, what are we having? The first question says, write down the modal class of the data. The modal class, this is the same as the mode, but now because it is given as a class or the interval, we don't have a specification of that to say this value is the one that is repeated. But we can see that this 8, many people were found in this interval. So this is probably the repetition is happening there in interval 100 to 110. So this is the mode that we can get. But the answer now, to answer that one, you say modal class. Modal class is going to be the interval, not 8 per se, but the interval where 8 lies. So it's going to be 100, then less or equal to, then x minus 110. So this is going to be the answer instead of 8. Now, we are done with number 1. That's going to be just 1 mark. Wow. Now, number 2, it says determine the interval in which the median lies. Now, the median is found somewhere here, but we really don't know the actual number of that median. So we're going to be only interested in finding what is the interval, in which interval does this median is mostly found. Now, we are going to embark on finding the position as we have done it in that ungrouped data. So the median is position number 2. So is Q2. So the position of 8 is 0.5, which is half, then into, then n plus 1. So what is going to be the n? So we have 0.5, then our n is the number of data that were surveyed, then plus 1. This is what we have. So the position is going to be, when you press your calculator, this thing, you will get 15.5. So that is the interval, that is the position that we have where the median lies, right? So how do we then actually find the median? We go to our frequency. We go to our frequency because you can see that this is being arranged in ascending order from 90 to 100, from 100 to 110, from this. So this is already arranged. So now what do we do? When we are counting from the smallest to the biggest, we count the frequency. So we add 4 plus 8, then we get 12, which is still below the position that we are looking for. So we'll have to add one more and check. Then after 12, when we add 7, we really get 17. Now, so 12 plus 7 is 17, and it has exceeded the position of the median that we found. But it doesn't matter. The fact that we got and exceed 15.5 after adding 17, which means the median lies in line with that 7, right? So that means we are going to write the interval of the median class. Median class as 110, then less or equal to x, then less than what? 120. So this is going to be the median class interval. After we have found the position, then we count from to our frequency, then from here to here to here, up until we reach the position, so that we take the correct interval, right? So can we now go to the next one? The next one is going to ask us to find what? So the next question says, determine the estimated mean. Okay, determine the estimated mean, estimate the mean of IQ score of this class of learners, right? So which means now we need to find the estimated mean of the IQ score of these learners that we have measured. Okay, now mean here is not necessarily the exact mean, it's the estimated one, because we really don't know the exact data, we just have interval. So how do we go about doing this? We need to do some more calculations that you can allow me to open something up. So I think it's gonna be too small. Let me just open it up a bit. Then what are we having now? Yes, wow. So now the idea to find the mean here, the formula for this mean is gonna be x bar, which is equal to sum of what? Sum of frequency times median or median class interval, then divided by the sum of what? Of frequency. So this is going to be it. It's a bit complicated, but don't worry, we're going to do it step by step. Now, the median class interval, when we take this one, we're going to have 90 plus 100 divided by 2 is going to be 95. It's going to be 95. Let me just repeat. Yes, it's going to be 95. Then coming to the second one, 100 plus 110 divided by 2 is going to be 105. Let's take the third one. 110 plus 120 divided by 2 is 115. I think you have seen now that we are just adding 10 than to just do this whole stuff. So which means 115 plus 10 is equal to 125. 125 plus 10 is going to be 135. 135 plus 10, that is 145. So this is basically what we have. Now, what are we going to be doing when we are calculating the mean now? We can do it manually, or we can even complete it right in this table. We can complete it in this table. What do we do here? We're going to find the product of all these things. Now, what do? We're going to say, okay, since this is the median class interval, then here you're going to find the frequency times the median. So the frequency times the median is going to be 4 times 95 to get 380. Then here, 8 times 105, we get 840. Then you continue doing the same thing up until you finish all these blocks here. Then you will be almost done. So having this one now, but because you have seen that, after this, we're going to have the sum of frequency times median. The sum of frequency times median is to add this plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that, to get 3480, which is 3418. So we're almost done. Then therefore the mean is going to be x bar, which is equal to 3480, then divided by the sum of the frequency. Sum of the frequency is when we added all these things to get this 30. So divided by 30. So the answer will then be equal to 116. So this is how we calculate a mean, but some they can do it in not necessarily in this table, by knowing it. Okay, the mean is going to be what? It's going to be the frequency times median, which is going to be 4 times median, which is 95. Then plus, that's going to be 8 times 105. Then plus, then 7 times 115, all the way to 2 times 145. Then knowing that you're going to divide by 30. So that is going to be just your answer. not necessarily finding this one. It's really not necessary. But if you know the understanding about how do you go about finding the frequency times median, or the median itself, and all the so all those things, and the total frequency is to add everything over here to know how many things that were involved in that survey. So this is basically what we have in a grouped data when we are calculating these kind of things. So thank you for watching. See you in the next question.